Welcome into Movin The Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas here for our Round 1 recap show presented by Folly Row. An exciting week for the most part. You know, we said it on the previous show. You get too many teams in the playoffs, you're going to have some stinkers, of course. But we did have a lot of really good football games, a couple upsets here and there. But looking forward to breaking some of those down with you guys today on our Round 1 recap show. As always, be sure to follow us on Facebook, on Twitter /X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Movin Chains, MOVINCHAINS. MovinChains.com is our website and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. We do our weekly preview show live on Tuesday nights about 7:15 on Facebook and YouTube. Be sure to join us for that this week as we break down the Round 2 slate. We do our recap show, that comes out on Sunday afternoon, Sunday nights, Monday morning, something like that. On the weekends, that's on our podcast platforms. And then our coach interviews, player interviews, food review Fridays, teams of the week, games of the week, lots of great stuff on our social pages throughout the week for you guys to tune into and check out as well. Get your Movin The Chains merch. You can email mtcgear.sc@gmail.com. You can message us on Facebook or on X if you order that way as well. We have some great Richardson hats. We have some hoodies, a gray one, kind of an ash stone white one as well. We have great T-shirts, a navy blue, a black, a gray, and a pink. Also, we have toboggans, a black and a gray. We may be getting very low on the gray toboggan / beanies. If you want one of those, you might want to order it now as we are getting down to the nitty-gritty on those. But lots of great merch. Hope you guys will buy some of that and support us. It's high-quality stuff too, man. I've worn mine quite a bit, and it's very nice stuff there. But you can email mtcgear.sc@gmail.com to order there, or you could order straight off of our social media page.
Need a new ride to get you to the big game? Founders Federal Credit Union has auto loan rates that'll get you in the driver's seat without breaking the bank. And here's the best part. No payment for up to 90 days. Drive to victory with a loan that suits your budget. Visit foundersfcu.com/auto today and score your dream car with an auto loan from Founders. Terms and conditions apply. Member qualification required.
With 3 convenient locations in Spartanburg, Duncan, and Greenville, Carolina Orthopedic and Neurosurgical Associates, Kona offers the most advanced training and experience in orthopedic surgery, neurosurgery, sports medicine, and pain management in the upstate. Go to kona.care to learn more.
Let's look now at our Carolina Orthopedic and Neurosurgical Associates games of the week, our Kona games of the week, 5 of the biggest ones across the state. We'll start with the game that John and I attended. That was Chester hosting Thurman. The Cyclones get a decisive 44-23 victory in this one. It didn't look like it was going to be much of a blowout. You know, a very tight game for really 3 quarters, and the Cyclones pull away late with a couple big runs there. They get the ball first drive right down the field, capped with a Trooper Floyd touchdown run. We're like, oh, man, this might be a heck of a game here. Thurman comes back, hits a couple nice touchdown passes to Jay Sewell. They have a lead, actually have the lead at the half, 16-14, and then Chester comes out and goes on a 30-7 second half run to win that one. Caleb Feaster was a key in the backfield. I think he had 3 touchdown runs, very long ones. He had 4 carries for like $166. You'll hear him later in our playoff performance. He had a huge game for Coach Floyd's bunch. Trooper at quarterback is a stud, kind of a dual threat guy there. And their offensive line played really well. I know that's kind of one of their worries going into this game was how could they hold up front. They did a great job protecting Trooper, getting the run game going as well. Nice job by that Cyclones bunch up front. On the defensive side, Terry Radford is a monster. He's an issue. He's a problem, whatever you want to say. He is tough to block, man. Whether he's lined up at D end or outside backer, he will cause some havoc. He is a problem on that side of the ball. You got to account for him every single play. He was getting in there, making hard tackles, pressuring the quarterback, pressuring Lee a ton. Did a fantastic job there. I will say that the one maybe chink in the Chester armor is that pass defense. They struggled a little bit. I know they came up actually with 2 picks. Zeke Evans had one. They got another one, I think, from Wright later on in the game. But they get up a lot of easy passes, too, to that strong Thurman squad, and that would be one of my worries going into next week is, how much can they improve that pass defense. But still, a awesome performance for them. We talked to Coach Victor Floyd after the ball game. That interview is up on our social pages, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, our X, all that stuff. And he said, this is really only the second game. I think he said they've all been healthy this year. Like, they've got a ton of guys back. And while some folks would have worried about having a 3-week layoff like they did, they used to get healthy. It was great for them. So hats off to him. And they had a great game plan. Did a fantastic job against a really good, strong Thurman team. We mentioned it in the interview. This is a round one game, but it felt like a third-round matchup. And both these teams were very, very solid. Coach Webb's bunch for the Rebels there played well, especially the first half, man. I've not seen them throw it that much this season, but they did a good job getting Sewell involved along with some other folks there. Bryceon Lee did a fantastic job back there at the quarterback spot. Couldn't really get the run game going. They probably like that a little bit more there. But the defense, it was weird because I feel like the defense played well, just gave up those big plays. A long pass from Floyd to Evans and the couple of big feaster runs really are what kind of cost them the ball game there. But it felt like Strom Thurman could have played a little bit better, but did not play bad by any means. A solid season for them, a tough team. You hate to see them go out in the first round, but that was a tough matchup for sure. But hats off to Chester, man. What they did was super, super impressive. Just coming out and winning against a tough team when you haven't played in 3 weeks. I mean, it was really impressive there. It was my first time going to Chester. Had a great time. Really cool stadium, kind of down in a hole down there. Appreciate the folks there for letting us attend the game. Everybody was super nice. The concessions, the hot dog was I'll tease it, really good. Downside, the logistics of the process there, the speed was not up to what I would have liked to seen there, but it was good food. John, I know, enjoyed his nachos as well, but I want to shout out those folks, Coach Campbell, the AD, who helped us out getting there, and Coach Floyd, obviously the head coach. Talked to Coach Brunson, Coach Stillwell there as well for Chester. Had some great conversations with him before and after the game. Lots of great folks there at Chester we got to talk to and meet for the first time. So really, really cool environment, man. And this is a team now where it doesn't get any easier. You play Clinton next round, but at the same time, Clinton's got to be like, they know they're not a pushover either. They know Chester's coming to play. So it's going to be a fun matchup, a fun ball game. Probably going to be a game of the week. I'll go ahead and say that as well. Two hard-hitting physical football teams, two teams that are certainly capable of winning a state title. Interesting to see how this one shakes out next week. But once again, hats off to Chester as they defeat Strom Thurman 44-23 in round one of the playoffs. Our second Kona game of the week, Boiling Springs and Dorman. What a win for the Bulldogs. A team that we were really high on early on in the year. Took a couple losses later on that kind of worried us. Man, they came out and played great football on Friday for Coach Reel. The defense especially. Now, Dorman's not a offensive juggernaut by any means, but still to shut them out was really impressive. Had a couple picks as well, I believe. Had a huge second quarter and just, really took off from there. Lincoln Husky was a key. He is an absolute gamer back there. Had a big-time football game for them. Great win for them. I think they hadn't beat Dorman since like 2015 or something, some crazy stat. Two teams that are in the region didn't get to play this year because of the hurricane. Glad they got the matchup now. The Boiling Springs Bulldogs with a big win over Dorman. Great win for Coach Reel. That's kind of, I guess, the next step in the progression of his bunch. Love to see them pull out that victory. They beat Dorman 32-0. Our third Kona game of the week, Hilton Head Island and Crestwood. Hilton Head Island comes out victorious 19-17. Coach B.J. Payne and the boys, they did what they want to do, which is play defense and run the football, man. Troy Timko had a big touchdown. They had a couple big defensive stops late. I think they had a bad snap on a punt. I think Crestwood took over at like the +20, +25, kept them out of the end zone, and just a great win for them. I believe they may have actually missed a field goal. No, excuse me. Kept them out of the end zone there to win that game. Awesome game for Hilton Head Island, man. A team that continues to impress. Had a big win the last couple of weeks to get into this spot. Now we're hosting the game, and they play great and beat a very solid Crestwood team. Awesome win for the Seahawks there. Our next Kona game of the week, Richland Northeast 22, Seneca 20. This game is kind of hard to explain because when you think of Richland Northeast, you think about really good offense, man, lighting up the scoreboard and whatnot. They scored 22 in the first half. We're like, all right, they're on their way. They don't score in the second half, and they still win the football game. Really interesting ball game. They played a lot of ball control all night long. I think I saw the R&E, their first drive of the game. They got the ball, went 18 plays, 80 yards, took off 9-10 from the clock, and cap it off with a Wilson touchdown run. Get a 2-point conversion as well after a botch snap. They turn into the 2, go up 8-0. Seneca played really well, though. Payson Jones had a big game for them. Gavin Tama at quarterback threw the ball well for them. They had a chance late, got the ball inside the 10, couldn't score, ended up missing a field goal. get it back later on, or I think around the 40 or 50. Couldn't really make anything happen either there. A huge game for Wilson. You'll hear him later on in the playoff performance. Just an awesome game, and really interesting to see how they played that, where they win a lot of ball control and maybe kind of try to help out their defense. Because we know that's the weak side of the team. I mean, no offense in saying that, but R&E, awesome win on the road. A team that, I said on Tuesday, they're good is really, really good. When they're playing good football, man, they're as good as a top 5, top 10 team in 4A. I don't know if they're quite playing that level yet, but that's still a great win on the road over a solid Seneca team. Coach Crane's bunch was really feisty this year. Lost to Greer and Daniel, 2 pretty good football teams there, but just didn't have quite enough offensive firepower and couldn't quite capitalize on some chances they had late in that one. But great win for R&E, 22-20 over Seneca. And then our SCSA game of the week, Wilson Hall knocks off Hilton Head Christian 21-9 in the 3A semifinals. Wilson Hall will advance to the state championship at Charleston Southern next Saturday. I believe that is I think that's the night game, the 7 o'clock game on Saturday. But the story for this one for me is the Wilson Hall defense. This is a high-flying Hilton Head Christian bunch that puts up a lot of points. They pick off quarterback Reed McCollum 3 times, hold him to -2 yards rushing, 156 yards passing. Just a great performance from that Barons defense, man. Bottling up a very tough offense. They are rolling right now. Wilson Hall for Coach Jarecki. They are playing good football, man. You got to be at this time of the year, of course, to keep winning. But just the way they played on defense really, really showed me something there. The offense did what it did, get 21 points there. Not the biggest game, but still enough, obviously, to win. But that defense performance against a really good Eagles team was awesome to see. They get a tough matchup with Pinewood next week, a Pinewood team that beat them pretty handily early on in the year. They get another shot at them. We'll see how that goes. But Wilson Hall, the Barons, they defeat they defeat Hilton Head Christian 21-9 in the SCSA game of the week. Once again, our Carolina Orthopedic and Neurosurgical Associates games of the week. We've got Chester 44, Strom Thurman 23, Boiling Springs 32, Dorman 0, Hilton Head Island 19, Crestwood 17, Richland Northeast 22, Seneca 20, Wilson Hall 21, Hilton Head Christian 9. Those are our Kona games of the week. Our HTC Hometown Connection game of the week here. A tough one for the HTC bunch there in Mullins. Once again, this is one of our games that we will pick a team from Marion, Georgetown, or Horry counties each and every week to focus on there. And this one was Philip Simmons taking on the Mullins Auctioneers. The Iron Horses get a big win, 45-12 over the Auks. The Auks season comes to an end there. Philip Simmons continues to roll, man. They have played really good football this year. Kind of been overlooked, it feels like, in the lower state 2A ranks, but they are a force to be reckoned with. The passing game with Tavian Oriana, Colton Kellerman out there for them. They've got TJ Jackson there running the football. They've got some good things going for Coach Bendig's bunch. They're a team to look out for in the 2A playoffs. Mullins, a really good season for them, man. A team that went winless last year to go 7-4 this season. Great to see that for Coach Lowry's bunch, a team that we think can certainly build off of that and become a solid group as they move forward. But great win for Philip Simmons in our HTC Hometown Connection game of the week. Philip Simmons 45, Mullins 12. Once again, our HTC Hometown Connection game of the week. HTC here to connect. And now on to our Hannah Engineering Pick'em contest. We started a new one now for the playoffs, guys. The regular season Pick'em is over. That wrapped up last week. We have our playoff Pick'em going now. Be sure to enter that as we'll have a new prize and whatnot for that after the playoffs end. Let's start with Darlington. The Falcons 23, Midland Valley 15. Awesome season for Darlington, a program that has not had much to write home about the last several seasons. Coach Johnson has built up a nice series, not only getting into the playoffs, to host a playoff game, I think first time in 18 years for that, and win a playoff game as well, man. Great to see what he's building there. Hats off to Coach Johnson and the Falcons there. And for Midland Valley, a nice turnaround, a team that started off really, really, really bad after the late off season change in coaches there and whatnot, a team that had an awesome season last year. That really kind of threw them for a loop. Started off super slow. They turned it around later on in the season and had some solid wins for Coach Dorn. Interesting to see where that program goes next year. Once again, big win for the Falcons. Clover 31, Blythewood 28. Clover had to survive a fourth quarter onslaught from Blythewood. They had a big lead there. I think Blythewood scored 22 in the fourth to make this one a lot closer, but Coach Woolbright's bunch moves on. Big win there for them. Timberland 20, Lake City 15. Man, what a hard-nosed physical football game. the Wolves get some revenge for an earlier season 2-point loss to the Panthers. A great win there for that Timberland bunch. Chapin 17, Goose Creek 16. Chapin, I think, had maybe a 17-0 lead in this one. Scored a lot early on. Struggled kind of down the stretch there. Another couple of questionable calls. I believe Goose Creek had a field goal blocked. I think his time expired to help the Blue Eagles win this football game. Awesome there for Coach Coles. Steps in first year man there on the job and gets a home playoff win. Love to see that for Chapin. Hampton County 42, Woodland 21. I thought this game was going to be close. Boy, was I wrong. Hampton County, man, continues to roll. Had the hiccup earlier on against Barnwell, the hiccup to Hilton Head Island. Outside of that, they played really good football. Had a big win over Woodland tonight or on Friday night. They look really, really, really good. And then Baptist Hill 16, Latta 0. The Bobcats, the defense surprised me there. We know they usually score some points with that offensive run for Coach Brown. But to shut out a team from Latta that's been hot lately, really great there for Baptist Hill. They move on to face Bamberg Earhart in round 2. Big win there for Baptist Hill, 16-0 over Latta. Once again, our remaining pick'em matchups: Darlington 23, Midland Valley 15, Clover 31, Blythewood 28, Timberland 20, Lake City 15, Chapin 17, Goose Creek 16, Hampton County 42, Woodland 21, and Baptist Hill 16, Latta 0.
At HTC, we're here to keep you connected. Here to provide reliable fiber optic internet with free, fast, and secure HTC Smart Wi-Fi. HTC, here to connect.
Come for the deals and stay for the quality with Folly Row. From polos to Q-zips to hats and more, their moisture-wicking, quick-drying, and anti-wrinkle apparel is the perfect blend of comfort and fashion for game day. FollyRow.com and at Folly Row on social media. Folly Row. Very good polos.
Time now for our stock up segment. We're going to stop doing stock down now because if you lose, if your stock is down, your season's over. So we're going to quit with that. But a quick stock up look from this week. One I've got is Burns. A big win against Lexington. Not only did they beat them pretty handily, they had to play this game down at PC. Nixon Field's still not ready. Great win there for the Rebels. Ashley Ridge, a dominant win over West Ashley. That offense continues to roll, and a good defensive performance from them too. Bowling Springs, a big-time win over Dorman. A good team the Cavaliers are. They've been playing good football. Bowling Springs shuts them out and puts up 30-plus on the board. Great win for Coach Reel's bunch. Fort Dorchester, they get a nice win over Stratford. Coach Lorenzano in year one has been kind of flying under the radar. Haven't had the best season there for the Patriots. They get a nice first-round win this week. Darlington, a big win over Midland Valley. Not sure when the last time Darlington won a playoff game was. Had it been quite a while, so great win for Coach Johnson there and the Falcons. Hanahan, the Hawks, they dismantle Silver Bluff. Big win for Coach Turner's crew on both sides of the football. I know Silver Bluff didn't have the best record this year, but they've always got athletes to beat them like they did. Very impressive there for the Hawks. Walkamaw, a nice win for the Warriors over Swansea, a Swansea team that started off the season really hot, kind of faltered a little bit down the stretch. Walkamaw gets a big win there. Chester, the game that we saw on Friday, man, they looked healthy and they looked dangerous. Big win over Strom Thurman. Johnsonville, they knock off Branchville, a Johnsonville team that, like I said, I think in our preview show on Tuesday, they just know how to win in the playoffs, man. Coach Cribb's bunch gets it done with a big win there. AC Flora, a team that has just been not talked about a ton but keeps winning football games. They get a nice win over Emerald, a game that was tied at 20-all, I think, at the first half. They blow them out in the second half to win that one. Walhalla, a huge win for the Razorbacks over St. Joe's. Great win for Coach Stone's bunch. Timberland, they get a hard-fought victory over Lake City. Two really tough, hard-nosed football teams there. Big win for the Wolves. And then some skis action. The Lawrence Academy Crusaders, a big win over JDA, a team that most folks, including myself, had penciled into that state title game, probably winning it. Lawrence knocks off Jefferson Davis. Great win for those bunch. That's our stock up for round one of the playoffs. And now, our playoff performers insured by the Georgia Agency. Once again, guys, send us these stats on Facebook, on Twitter /X, on Instagram, on YouTube, email, whatever you want to do. Get them over to us. Send us these comments. If you send us a stat line, we will read it on the show. We will post it in our blog. So definitely get us that. We want to shout out these kids who just showed out in the playoffs. But our playoff performers insured by Georgia Agency. We start with Mikkel Skinner at Riverside, the Kentucky commit. plays all over the field this week. He has 137 rush yards, 4 touchdowns, 37 receiving yards, 3 QB hurries, and 2 tackles in their big win. The quarterback there for the Warriors, Gideon Merib, not sure how to say your last name. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry about that, buddy. But big game for you, 16 for 20, 234, 2 touchdowns, also 92 rushing yards, 300-plus on offense there for Gideon. Nick Holmes, the running back at Greer, goes 31 for 199, 3 touchdowns. Will Wilson at RNE, 18 for 26, 223 through the air, along with a touchdown pass. 30 carries, $198 on the ground, and 2 more touchdowns rushing. Frank Starks at Hillcrest, 19 rushes, 206, 2 tuds. Jackson Free at Hillcrest, 11 for 15, 217, 4 touchdowns there for Jackson. Josh Amayo at Nation Ford, 8 catches, $191, 3 touchdowns. Colton Bagwell at Wren gets it done on the ground this week, 21 carries for 236, 4 touchdowns. Cam Austin at Barnwell, 18 for 20, 320 yards, 5 touchdowns, all in the first half. Big game there for Cam Austin. Tristan Heckman at PD Academy, 10 rushes, 206 yards, 3 touchdowns, 11 tackles, 2 TFLs, and a kickoff return touchdown to start the game. Colby Richardson also at PD Academy, 9 for 15, 230 yards, 4 touchdowns on the game. Trey Leonard at South Florence, 9 rushes, $147, 3 TDs. Jay Sewell at Strom Thurman, 12 catches, 136, 2 touchdowns. And being at that game, it felt like he had 20 catches. Great game there for Jay. Caleb Feaster at Chester, 4 rushes, 166, 3 touchdowns. Huge game for him. Landon Robinson, a former Player of the Week winner at Walhalla, 41 rushes, 313, 3 tuds. Ethan Shipman at Louisville, 7 pancakes, 0 pressures or sacks allowed. Michael Martin at Christchurch, 19 carries, $150 on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Wyatt Thompson at Camden, 8 rushes for 178 and a touchdown, 61 pass yards and a touchdown throwing, 6 tackles, and 2 TFLs for Wyatt. Marquez Henderson at BHP, 11 carries for 192 and 2 touchdowns. Jaden Holloway at Ridge Spring Minetta, 6 touchdowns on the night. Camarius Bomar at Westside, a 45-yard punt return touchdown, a 35-yard pick six, and a 26-yard TD catch. Another former Player of the Week. I think he may have also done all those in the first quarter. Huge game there for Camarius. A.J. Lindsey at Landrum, 100 receiving yards and a touchdown, 10-plus tackles, a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and a forced fumble. Tylen Drakeford at Camden, 2 TD catches. Navier Boykin at Camden, 2 touchdown runs. Brian McMillan at Barenberg Earhart, a 70-yard kick return, a 65-yard punt return, 2 for 2 passing for $135, 40 rush yards for 310 all-purpose yards in the Red Raiders' big win. And then Lincoln Husky at Boiling Springs, 19 for 26, 207, 2 touchdowns in their win over Dorman. Once again, our playoff performers are insured by the Georgia Agency. Guys, continue to send us those stats each and every week in the playoffs. Love to give these guys some shine on our show and also in our blog. So, once again, our player performers insured by the Georgia Agency. A couple of notes I've got here. Walhalla, I mentioned them on Stock Up a minute ago. They had the big win over St. Joe's. That was their first playoff win in 29 years. Awesome for that Razorback community there. And then Marquez Henderson, a frequent in the Player of the Week nominations over the last couple of years at BHP. He passed the 6,000 career yard mark, the future Clemson Tiger, with another big night on the ground for the Bears. The Georgia Agency has been serving the insurance needs of South Carolina for over 40 years. They're a full-line insurance agency concentrated in employee benefits and health insurance with an office in Mullins and Murrells Inlet, but they can help you all across the state. They have clients in Greer, Rock Hill, Columbia, and more, so wherever you are, they can help. Give Bradley, Wayne, Richard, and the crew a call or check them out online at thegeorgiaagency.net. That's thegeorgiaagency.net. Folly Row question of the weekend. An easy one this week, guys, is what game was the most exciting from round one? Came from a viewer. A lot of really good ones. You could look at St. Joe's and Walhalla. That was a super tight ball game down to the end. Let me think what else was a good one. But I'll tell you what, the one that I want to go with is May River and Bluffton, a game that came down, I think, 2 overtimes. May River scores, goes for 2, gets in there to win that ball game, avenge an earlier loss from a couple weeks back. Just a great ball game down there in the Low Country. Awesome win for Coach Bonneville's bunch there. So that is my favorite game of the week, that May River overtime victory over Bluffton. That's our Folly Row question of the week. Guys, as always, appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, on Twitter /X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Movin Chains. That's MOVINCHAINS. MovinChains.com is our website, and our podcast is on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Tune in Tuesday night about 7:15 on Facebook and YouTube Live for our round 2 preview show. We'll break down all the games from across the state in round 2, along with the SCSA state championships that will be coming up this week as well. Our recap show will come out next weekend, probably Sunday or Monday, recapping round 2. We'll have some great coach interviews, player interviews, and other content throughout the week for you as well. If there's a coach you want us to talk to, feel free, let us know. We are happy to talk to anybody. So if you've got an idea for us, certainly put that in front of us. Get your Movin The Chains merch. You can email mtcgear.sc@gmail.com. You can message us on Facebook or Twitter. We have great hats, toboggans, hoodies, and T-shirts right now. Love to have you guys supporting the brand here at Movin The Chains. Been a great round 1. Like I said, some good ball games, some blowouts, but overall a solid week of football. Really excited for round 2 to get going here pretty quickly. And I appreciate you guys tuning into a one-man show solo episode this week. I know it's a little bit tougher compared to some other ones, but had to go solo this week. Terrell was doing some traveling, so I appreciate you guys tuning in for that. But this has been our round 1 recap show presented by Folly Row. Movin The Chains is always brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Movin The Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin Chains on all social media platforms and visit movinchains.com today.